I'm just doing what I feel is natural, man. I'm being myself because for the longest time, like when I was signed with the UFC for like the first 2 years, where I was depressed because I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. Like people fail to realize there's two UFC Fight Nights that's the highest gross, and I've been on both of them now. Ian Garry is the type of fighter, unfortunately, like now he's hungry for it, right? He's trying to get back out there. He's trying to find these opponents, but he's just not that dude. All these dudes, bro, they kind of soft to me because they really don't believe in themselves. That's why they don't promote themselves, because they don't believe in themselves. You shouldn't be talking about nobody not washing their hands because you got Tom Brady, right? Sitting there right by you. And I don't even think he finished his ointment up, right? To clear up his motherfucking stab infection. And then you got Joe Fife over there laughing and giggling. But hold up, nigga, you got to call Daddy Dana to get your rent, nigga. So guess what? I'm going to say this right now. All they mamas raised them hoes. Oh, that was a waste of a call out. No, it wasn't, because y'all dumbasses is talking about it. For people like, oh, he just want red penny. Like, yeah, nigga. Yes, I do. See, I might put on the draws. No, did he? The UFC does not make it worse for me. They make it worse for the next guy that steps in there with me. So, like I said, a lot of these dudes, man, they be capping when they be like, oh, yeah, I'll fight them. No, you wouldn't. Live your life. You so concerned about death, like death ain't concerned with you until it's time to meet you. They say you die twice. First time is when you take your last breath, and the second time is when they say your name for the last time. But yeah, my grandmother is the one that told me just be yourself, open up, and just like I said, just live your life, boy.
All right, so today I'm joined by Joaquin Buckley. Welcome back, man. How are you?
What's good, man? Big win. I guess this is an opportunity, man, for me to be a superstar now, calling out big names, trying to get some big fights. I actually got a call from the UFC not that long ago for an opportunity, so, you know, things is looking good right now in St. Louis.
Shit, I mean, we're going to go chronologically, but we'll start off with that one then. What, they called you that, Ian Garry?
Yeah, they did. See, I declined that one though, but I got no. So I got back offers though. So there's another offer that I'm still talking about. So obviously, you know, we still in talks and into details, but it's just things are moving along as they should, right? It's getting to the point where I don't have to hunt down fights anymore. They come in and they want me to fight. They want me to market myself, and they want to push me even further to get these headliners, you know. So I just feel blessed to be where I'm at right now, and we up right now. Yes.
Okay, but you can for surely say you denied Ian Garry. That's a bad.
I definitely deny. I ain't want to catch no hurts. Yeah, I'm good. Why, yeah, man? My man be having a little pop up. Yeah, because I like to wrestle now. I like to wrestle now. Yes, sir.
What did you say? Your manager hit you, and you're just like straight up nah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the time wise, like, bro, I just did two literally back-to-back fights. I was good. I was like, you know, let me chill out for a minute, but I got another offer that is, you know, a little bit more lengthy in time for me to prepare and get it ready. But it's also a better matchup. It's a better fight as well. And a bigger name, in my opinion, than Ian Garry.
All right. Yeah. So they heard you calling out McGregor. They're like, oh, we'll give you the young McGregor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I see it. But like I said, that fight doesn't do anything for me, in my opinion, right? Ian Garry is the type of fighter, unfortunately, like now he's hungry for it, right? He's trying to get back out there. He's trying to find these opponents, but he's just not that dude, to me, in my opinion. So when you talk about his style of fight, he's not fun to watch, in my opinion. He's not exciting, and the way that he promotes his fights as well is kind of lame, and it's kind of dried out. So yet again, he doesn't do anything for me when it comes to actually moving towards that title, in my opinion. But the person I'm finna fight next definitely will. Yeah.
Okay. And are you also saying the reason why they're a little bit of a bigger name is because you like how they promote themselves and stuff like that? This person?
Yes, yeah. That too. Mm-hmm.
Okay, for sure. And I just want to say too, you know, the denying fights gets a bad rap a little bit, but like when you say that, I kind of respect it. And you got to navigate your own career. You know, like they will throw you these names, but it's up to you to kind of navigate your career the best way possible. So if you don't like how a guy promotes himself and you don't want to be a part of that, and you've been hustling, you know, you've been working. Yeah. So I feel like with those kind of things being said, you deserve to call your shot a little bit.
Ain't nobody say I'm ducking or dodging anybody.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
At one point, I did want to fight, right? But regardless though, like I didn't already put in my footwork. I'm 9-4 within the promotion. I'm 4-0 as a welterweight now. It's just like, and then like I said, the timing wise, that's really what it is. It's the timing wise. Like you didn't had all this time to prepare, and I'm coming off of 2 camps back to back. Like nah, that's not how that works, you know. So, but at the end of the day, I feel like this is my opportunity where I can pick and choose how I want to in order to get to that belt, you know, because I didn't did all my footwork that is necessary in order to take my call.
And the recovery is important too, kind of like you're mentioning. So take your time
man, my
to kind
back still hurt from Nursulton, man. Kick me up all side of my shit, man. I don't know why Peterson just let my man just throw illegal shots, going up kicks and back kicks, spinal kicks. Oh my god, damn.
Crazy ass, man. I don't know what's going on with him, but we're going to get all into that. So let's just go from the beginning. Something that you kind of revealed on Fight Week that I didn't know about, and it's kind of interesting. So you were offered, tell me if I'm wrong, you were offered Vicente Luque or UFC St. Louis, and you accepted the fight against Vicente Luque.
Yep.
Is that when you came on the podcast and you were like, and by the way, the UFC's coming to St. Louis? That's because you had already heard about that, right?
Exactly. Right. Okay. Exactly. So just giving a more in-depth story, you know, so Brian Buckley, he gave me the call. He said, look, I got an opportunity for you. All right. You have two choices, right? You can either fight for a ranking. He didn't give me a name though. He said you can either fight in a ranking, or you can fight in your hometown. Which one you want? I said, I can't do both. He said, no, you cannot do both. You have to pick one. So I'm literally just thinking, I'm trying to juggle. I'm like, you know, I remember that the last time that UFC came down to STL, right? It was a long time ago. So having the opportunity to fight in your hometown is going to be a major deal because you never know when they're going to come back again, right? But at the same time, the only reason why I'm fighting is become a world champion, and these ranking opportunities don't come around every single time. So I said, you know, how far are both of these events from each other? He gave me both of the dates, March 30th, May 11th. I said, okay, that's not much time in between, right? To really train and prepare. But I was like, if I come out of this fight March 30th unscathed, then I wanna be able to fight in my hometown. He said that's probably not gonna happen, but do you want the ranking? I said, yeah, let me get the rank fight, and then we'll work on trying to get the May 11th card. So we took the ranked opponent and we beat Vicente Luque, and then that's when you saw me, you know, brainstorming on how to promote for myself, going out to UFC 300, talking to Dana, blase, you know what I mean, and then getting my ass on that St. Louis card. So yeah, we made that shit happen.
Right. So when you started making those call-outs, did you feel like the UFC might have been like, were you wondering how they would perceive it? Because from an outside perspective, they might have been like, this motherfucker, man, like we told him he gets UFC St. Louis or the ranking, and now he's asking for both. So did you feel like confident when you were calling for your shot at all, or were you feeling like,
I had the first win, right? So it's not like I was calling my shot from the beginning, right? So yet again, it was already denied. If I take one, I can't get the other first off, right? But like you said, for me to try to hop on to this next one, I don't think they really was mad about it. I think they was kind of like low-key encouraging it, right? Like they're proud that I actually went about, you know what I mean, asking for it, because they wanted me on the card, period, right? They wanted to see if I was going to actually take the ranked opponent or not, right? If I was really about that life. That's what I think it really was. Because at the end of the day, it would have gave me more opportunities to prepare for May 11th, right? If I didn't take the March 30th, which March 30th was kind of short notice itself, they kind of called me around that time, you know, in March, late February, right? If I think they just wanted to see if I was going to take that ranked opponent, yes or not. So I took it and I showed them. I was like, all right, I'm really about that life. I'm really trying to prove to the world that I'm definitely that guy that you can call on if you need a fighter to show up. I'm definitely that guy. But at the same time, things are not always predicted when you get into a fight, because anything can happen. Injuries happen, right? So at the same time, once everything went the way it should, I was able to take the St. Louis fight. I was able to promote it to a new level, right? I don't care what nobody say, you know, no disrespect to Derek Lewis, but I looked at his page. He wasn't promoting the St. Louis card whatsoever, right? Like, people knew he was on there, but he wasn't doing anything extra in order to try to push the numbers. But me, on the other hand, I'm posting roughly probably 4 videos every time, right? Throughout the day, in order to try to promote myself to get on the card. going to UFC 300, going back, talking shit, trying to find me an opponent, no matter who it might be, right? I'm trying to find me anybody willing to take on anything that the UFC is willing to offer. So with that being said, it's getting a lot of eyes on it. It's getting a lot of traction. Okay, now people really do want to see Buckley on the St. Louis card. People really do want to see, doesn't matter who he fight, but just want to see him try to get that main event slot. So everybody's backing me now. I got people from Dr. Lehman, who works with a lot of athletes from St. Louis, from the Cardinals, from City Park, from the hockey team, right? Helping push my name out even further, right? So now I got big platforms within St. Louis trying to get me out there. And people don't realize, in my opinion, I believe that I helped the UFC break these attendance records. Because when they first came here, they did terrible. They only had, I think, 10,000 tickets sold, and everybody left early. Everybody left early because didn't nobody know who was on the card, right? But at the end of the day, I feel like all the work that I put in led people to come out and show out for us, you know, May 11th. So now I feel like, you know, the UFC is kind of looking at me like, okay, yeah, we see what you're doing. You crazy too, but we see what you're doing and it's working.
Right.
You know?
And that's perfect. I feel like even Dana said afterwards in hindsight, he kind of revealed too that that's what a fighter should do. And granted, you won, so he was able to give it a positive spin. Who knows what he would have said if you lost or something like that.
Right.
But, you know, he did say, he's like, that's what a fitter should do. So you did prove that you're about that life. And Dana kind of validated that he likes to see that in a fighter, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing too, right? When you promoting, whether you win or lose, you're doing your job. You want people to watch. You want people to tune in, right? At the end of the day, if you win and you don't promote and don't nobody watch it, what it matters? You don't get no clout. You don't get no value from it. So my thing is trying to get as many people to tune in as possible is the greatest joy of doing our job. Because that's when we get to showcase to the world exactly who we are and how great we are. But what's the point of even fighting if you ain't got nobody watching? That's just my opinion, you know. But yeah, I think I done really reached some different numbers, man, for this fight. And with the help with Nursulton, with him coming from Uzbekistan, they really ride for their people, right? But I think it was the antics that I was doing as well that helped push those numbers even harder than, you know, what they would already internationally be. Right, exactly. I think we got like 16 million views and counting just for the weigh-ins, right? And the weigh-ins only did 1 million for Derek Lewis and the dude that he fought.
16 million where? On one channel or collectively?
No, on the UFC and Dana White's page.
Oh, shit. So Dana got 16 million views for that face-off. Right.
And he flashing that money, talking about he needs some money.
And everybody tunes in. You know, at this point, it's a guarantee. You've been doing it since way back, just talking shit in your weigh-in face-offs.
And I'm going to keep talking shit. That's just me.
We all love it, you know. Everybody tunes in because before it even starts, we're like, Buck's going to say something probably. Right. And just to add to your point a little bit, because, you know, it's good to give you your recognition here. So even you're saying it, but I'll say it too in a different way, which is UFC Atlantic City, same card you fought on, right? That card didn't have too much crazy hype, but like you're saying, because of the whole backstory with UFC St. Louis getting you on the card, the hype, thousands of fans voting on polls to get you on, thousands of fans voting, they're probably tuning in, you know, at least
that's what's beautiful about the UFC. They see everything that we doing. Even the lowest level fighter, if you posting anything, if you like going live on video, they watch it. That's what they got. Those kids in there working, you know, that them temp workers. That's why I call them the temp workers. But they really what they call them, you know, the kids that come from the school. The kids that come from the school.
Interns.
And they don't get interns. Thank you. They got interns that come through there all the time. But regardless, though, I feel like they make sure they have eyes on us to make sure that they see who has the potential to be whatever. And a lot of these fighters, unfortunately, they don't really tap into the marketing part or the promoting part because they really don't know who they trying to be or who they are. You got to figure out who you are as a person first off, and what you trying to promote and what's your message to the world. And I feel like once you figure that out, once you get a good understanding and a ground level understanding of that, then you can be able to push even further towards people that are like-minded as you, right? And then you can actually start setting up your own market to the people that you gear to, you know what I mean, to sell to. But regardless of that, though, with the UFC, it's just like even with Atlantic City and me doing what I did, like people fail to realize there's two UFC Fight Nights. That's the highest gross, and I've been on both of them now. Austin, Texas, and St. Louis. Right? I don't think that shit is just by coincidence, and I truly believe that shit is by design. Because each fight, every single time I was promoting, not just before like the fight week, right? During fight week, promote, doing videos, doing skits, having fun, doing like as I'm cutting weight. You can't tell me those things don't have a push, you know what I mean, on not just my platform and on my brand, but on the UFC as well. Because people get to watch a storyline as they see me step into the cage, right? So I believe this everything I've been doing, up until this moment has been working, and it's finally paying off.
Yeah, and you guys don't have to try too hard. I mean, that video you posted in the hotel, which we'll also maybe we'll break it down now, but we'll see how this goes. But in the hotel, right? You just flashed a picture of him, flashed the camera on him. The rest of it was you just talking your shit, being yourself, right? And then I picked it up, so I told a little story about it so that they can add to a storyline. Yeah, it's all about the storylines and like following up on that stuff. And that video got like a couple 100,000 views, and I didn't even collab with you on that,
And that's the crazy part too, right? So with you posting it, other people posting it, but his people start posting it, right? From where he's from, and they got a massive following as well. So they translating what I'm saying, like. The thing is, though, it's like now it's getting to the point where I'm not just a star here at home, but now I'm known all over. I have now in Uzbekistan, oh my lord, I did not, I didn't fuck
no disrespect,
right? Right. My bad, no disrespect. Uzbekistan fan base now, where every single time that I post, they gonna be paying attention, right? Because at the end of the day, out of all respect and out of all love, I gave that guy an opportunity to fight, right? And we went out there, we put on a hell of a display, we went to war, and we did our thing. And I feel like for me, it's just getting to that point where now I'm not just touching one market, I'm touching multiple markets all around the world. Paris, right?
I was going to say that one. Yeah, you can't forget about them.
So, the more I'm keep doing what I'm doing and the more I'm able to fight, globally, I feel like I'm really going to be able to do big things yet again for the UFC.
Right. And actually, another guy has been messaging me from MMA Propaganda. He's they're like a Paris organization or Paris news outlet.
Yeah.
And he has a question for you that I was going to ask, but you got a new fight coming up, but I'll still ask it at the end. But just to go kind of back to the storyline a little bit with how this whole thing unfolded. So you went on a press tour after we last spoke, right? By yourself, pretty much. You went out to Vegas and all that stuff. You called out Leon, like we just talked about. You went on the mic at the press conference. But what went behind all of that in the first place? Like, was that all on you? And like, even making that shirt and stuff, like, where did these ideas come from?
This is the ideas. I mean, be honest with you, bro, I'll just be doing shit.
Like, did you go there with a plan? Is kind of like what I'm asking you. Like, were you like, I'm gonna call out Edwards, I'm gonna go to this press conference? Or by just showing up, it kind of manifested itself?
It kind of, just by showing up, it kind of manifested itself, right? Because it's like you really can't plan stuff like that. A lot of things that I do is just having a creative mind and just trying to think outside of the box. Like, what can I do to really put myself out there, right? Not trying to be disrespectful, not trying to step on no toes. What can I do to just to truthfully be able to authentically promote myself the way I know I can? And regardless of people like it or not, it doesn't matter because I'm just doing what I feel is natural, man. I'm being myself because for the longest time, like when I was signed with the UFC for like the first 2 years, where I was depressed because I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, And a lot of people already off the jump wouldn't even fuck with me then, right? When I'm trying to be somebody that they should like. Not saying just to smile in their face, but they try to be personable and try to be engaging with them. They ain't like me in the first place, right? So it was still like, fuck me at the end of the day. So me just being myself, now I'm not disrespecting me. So now I'm not losing no sleep over it. I'm able to consciously just be able to go throughout my day and be like, man, I'm proud of what I did. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is stuff like I said, bro. Like when you talking about just making shirts and shit like that, bro. just going to like the mall and like I said, just coming up with shit, bro. Like just having a creative mind. I keep a journal, I write shit down, and we came up with that on the plane. So I ended up reaching out to Alex Couture. I said, bro, I got an idea, because I was like, I know that we not gonna see Leon out here, even though he should be out here promoting himself. He's a fucking world champion, but he's not that type of fighter to do that. So I was like, let's just make this poster real quick. Leon Edwards missing. Where he at? Let's go find him. And I just wrote down little fun facts about him, about him being on his back in the 5th round, about him, crying to his mama, right? And as well that he's running away from Bilal, because he is. But these things just naturally happen in my mind. And then as soon as I see it in my mind, how can I create it for other people just that can see it? And how, it becomes reality.
And I mean, just because we're talking about Leon, do you think you'll end up fighting him one day? Or do you think that by the time you get to the top, he'll probably end up being beaten by someone? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know for anybody else what their future, what is determined for them, right? So I can't say that. I know that I'm gonna fight for a world title though. I'm gonna guarantee that. But who's holding that belt? I can't say.
So you almost don't hold Leon on the throne when you're kind of training for the title.
I don't hold nobody on that throne but myself until I get it. Yeah.
Fair enough. And then with Gilbert Burns, right? You ran into Gilbert at the PI, so we gotta document that too. How did that go? You went up to him, you said, "What's up? I want to fight." What was the energy like when you came up?
No. Well, so when we first seen each other, man, I was walking down the PI steps and I just happened to run into him. I'm like, "What's up, man?" Like I want to have good energy, right? Ain't no, because we not finna fight right there. Now we ain't finna get paid, and then now we got an assault record and shit like that. Now somebody about to go to jail. So my biggest thing, I just asked him, I said, "When you gonna come and pick your mans up?" Right? He's like, bro, it don't even work like that. The UFC sets up these fights. I'm like, and I told him, I said, bro, we can promote it though, right? Like if we get enough people behind it, the UFC gonna see it. Just trying to give him some game. And he still was like, "Oh, that's how you think the UFC works?" That's what he told me. I said, but why they always having us trying to call people out after every goddamn fight that we had? So I was like, that's why I thought that's how it worked. But we left it at that. It didn't go no further than that. He went upstairs, got his workout in, and I got my workout in. But other than that, I ended up going live and giving that story. But I just realized, I was like, bro, all these dudes, bro, they kind of soft to me, because they really don't believe in themselves. That's why they don't promote themselves, because they don't believe in themselves. Because they all know, and we all know, that anything can happen within a fight at any given moment, right? Where it might be going your way, and then just at the tail end, boom, you take the L, right? And people are afraid to look back at those interviews and be like, damn, I said all that shit and I ain't live up to it. See, I ain't got no problems with that, because it just is what it is. And I still stand on this shit, even if I lose, I still stand on the shit that I said, because I believed in it, right? Because you won't have to still show me again.
Right.
Right.
And the fans do see that, we see when like somebody's like, "Oh, you got to kill this guy like 1,000 times,"
Yes.
Like, who cares if you kill him one time? Like, that's not enough to kill his confidence. But some guys, it is the case. Like, for example, the easy one is Ronda Rousey. But we do see the difference, So the real ones, don't be afraid to talk your shit, because if you're that confident and you lose and you're still gonna be confident, we'll still believe in you. You don't have to just crumble after like you talked your shit one time and lost. It's not that big of a deal. Like, we forget quick.
Because unfortunately, losses are a part of the game. It's very rare when you got real undefeated guys like Habib, John Jones, whatever. Like, very rare individuals that are undefeated in this game and that get to lead this game undefeated. But regardless, though, it's just like, losses ain't no L. Well, an L ain't a loss to me. It's a lesson. I'm learning. And if I'm learning, I'm becoming more dangerous at the end of the day. So like I said, I accept death when it comes to coming into the cage. And what I mean by that is, okay, yeah, I don't want to fucking die. I don't want to be God that day. You know what I mean? But when you get knocked out, or when you lose, whatever, you essentially are dying. And when you die, luckily we get reborn in that cage. And that's what I always feel like. Anytime that I fail against another fighter, I feel like I'm being reborn and I'm being taught a lesson that now I can be better for the next journey in my career. Yet again, I'm 4-0 right now. But the reason why I'm 4-0 right now is because I took them L's before. I got to learn. I got to gain experience the whole time, over and over again, So those lessons were necessary in order for me to be now undefeated.
Correct. And then, okay, so talking about the fight and all that stuff and getting it booked, right? You went home to St. Louis after the UFC 300 press conference, hanging out for a couple of weeks, waiting to get that call. They finally called you. But remember we said last time, they got to call you quick or else it was going to cost a little bit more money.
Yeah. Did you like no bread? No.
Did you negotiate at all, or you just said, yes, sir, I'll take it?
Yeah, I just took it. I ain't gonna lie, because they pretty much said nothing was on the line, right? I wanted to at least make it a cash weight. I wanted to get some, like I said, some extra money, some extra funds. But they said, look, you either want it or you don't. And I truthfully wanted to fight, so I said, forget it, bro. Give me the fight, and I'm gonna show y'all what I can do, and I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I'm made of, and how well I'm great at this shit, right? And I did that. Not only with my performance, but bringing people out and showing them, like, bro, we pull numbers out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now they're going for a pay-per-view. Yeah. Hopefully a pay-per-view next year. But also, though, what were your thoughts when you got him? Did you know about, like, I got 3 things right off the bat I'm thinking of. One's funny and then 2 are serious. But the weight dropping down to 170. Then you got the eye pokes in his last fight. And then the butt grabbing. Oh,
yeah.
You know about this stuff before you accepted it?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, you didn't know anything about it?
So I would say, all right. So when they offered me to fight, first off, I didn't know the name. I didn't know who he was. They didn't give me a name. They said, do you want to fight? Yes or no. We looking for somebody right now. That's what they said. They looking for somebody. So I'm like, all right, I don't care who it is. Find me somebody and I'm going to fight, but it's the yes on my side. They ended up calling me 5 minutes later talking about it's Nursulton. And obviously I knew of him because we fought on the same card, right? I'm like, this nigga 185. He's going to be dropping down to 170 now. So I'm like, all right, whatever, bet. So I said, let's go. But I giggled and I laughed because when I seen him and when I spoke to Nursulton, because I had my boy Murad back, who's also from Uzbekistan. Oh my God, bro, I didn't fucking around, made a goddamn from Uzbekistan, from there. And he ended up translating for me there. He said, oh, no, I fight at 172. I said, bro, ain't no way in hell you fight at 170. So I'm thinking that conversation between me and him and what we had, he was like, oh, yeah, I got an easy lick, right? But he don't want to fight me because he's fearful that I can make the weight. So he thinking that my kindness was weakness at that point. So now I'm just like, all right, whatever, bet. But the thing is, though, a lot of these guys don't realize, man, I do my homework on you boys. Right, so as soon as we got the matchup, and as soon as I signed the contract, we end up going on Tapology, just going to see all his little fights, and we realized, bro, you fighting all bums from back home.
I did my homework on him too a little bit.
Right, and one thing I found out familiar, because the fight world is so small. Funny enough, even though it's global, he fought Albert Durayel's little brother, right, and lost to him at 170. He got controlled the whole time, got taken down every single time, and wasn't able to get off his back, and he got real tired. And my thing is, if you can't beat the little brother, you know what I'm saying, that didn't even make it to the UFC, how you think you're going to beat me when I beat the big brother who was at his prime, who was also on a 10-fight winning streak at the time in Austin? So, yeah.
All right. And then, but I don't think you've just mentioned it there, but you guys talked backstage, and then that's when you were like, oh, you fight at 185 or something, but you also said you're a big dude, and I'm happy I moved down to 170. And that's when that's when he said, I fight at 172.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So with him saying that, it's just like I said, bro, he thought that he had an easy lick on his hands. It was like, all right, this guy don't want to fight me because he thinking because he at 170 and I'm at 185 that we shouldn't fight each other. But I'm also a welterweight fighter, which he's not a welterweight fighter at all. He drains himself too much. Every loss that he has is at 170, bro. So all his fights. Yep. So he has 8 losses, 9 now. and they all at 170.
Where do you think he should go from here? Because he obviously doesn't feel comfortable at 185, right? I mean, that's what it would appear to be. That's why he's moving down. But then he just, lost to you. You're a great fighter, so I'm not saying he doesn't belong there. But, where do you think he should go from here? Because I think 170 is way too big of a cut. The guy's just too big.
Exactly. So with that being said, it is a big cut for him at 170. Staying at 185 is the best route for him because that's where he got the finishes at, right? That's where he had the most success at. Even though he kind of cheated in that second fight, right, with homeboy, ended up poking him in his eye. That was the best route of victory for him when you talk about the weight class. When you cutting all that weight, that's an extra 15 pounds you got to cut and that you got to make for 170. And be honest with you, he doesn't have much to lose. He's already a skinny guy. He has a very skinny frame. So with that being said, it's just like I think my man should stay at 185 and kind of, you know, get some good names underneath his belt. But he'll be back. He's a good fighter. He is a good fighter. I'm not gonna say he's not. But it's things that he has to work on. He has to work on his wrestling defense and work on, you know, throwing more combinations. Because he was just trying to get the knockout. He was just trying to look for the right hand the whole time. So if he mixes it up a little bit and work on his wrestling defense, I think he could be a problem in middleweight.
Okay. Yeah, I would notice that the whole fight he was kind of backing up first round, almost appeared like he's looking for a knee pretty much for you to shoot.
Yeah.
And then which is crazy because everyone's saying, how's this guy gonna, like, you know, how's Buckley gonna defend this guy's takedowns and shit? I don't know if you saw my comment. I was trolling a little bit, but you know I'm also being for real because I was saying, like, I saw that one and I responded and I was like, well, actually, if you watch some of the film, like, Buckley's probably gonna end up taking him down. And then also, you know, Buckley's from America, the best wrestling in the world. So we got that. Yeah. And then so people are like hating that comment and shit like that. But
right.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say that he was backing up a lot in that first round, almost like prepared to defend the takedown. And then it looked like he was just backing up the rest of the fight, trying to land the right hand. So,
right.
But what was your game plan? That's what I want to know.
He just wanted me to blindly come in. That's what he thought. Like,
yeah,
Alonzo, right? Alonzo versus the
Menifield versus Olberg.
Olberg, thank you, right? Alonzo just came in blindly, wah, and got caught. That's what homeboy was expecting, right? He was expecting me just to rush in, and that he thought he was gonna hit me with the right hand, and the fight was gonna be over. I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work like that, right? We finna use these feints on him. We're gonna use a back and forth motion, and I'm gonna wait until you make a mistake. And once you make that mistake, I'm gonna expose you, and I'm gonna get you to the ground and do what I need to do. I didn't mind fighting him on the feet either as well, but yet again, he did have power. He did have, you know, good pop in his shots, and, you know, I just didn't want to get, you know, hit with something stupid. So I knew the best route to victory was to take this man to the ground and put damage on him, right? I ended up catching him later in the third round, you know, with a crazy hook, right? Crazy swishing right upside his dome. And if I would have hit him with this uppercut, then I know if I would have landed, he would have been out cold. But I just missed it. But we ended up on the ground. Yet again, I don't know why Peterson allowed my man to just throw like illegal shots, like kicking with his long legs and everything. Because I had to dodge those legs like crazy, like boom, and I was on the ground the whole time.
When you recognized it, you literally went like that.
Exactly. And it wasn't until he hacked me down on my goddamn neck until Peterson stopped it. But when he stopped it, you know, I'm thinking in my head like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep it on the ground. But I'm like, bro, it's 20 seconds left. I like, bro, it's 20
seconds.
That. Yeah. I was like, fuck you, bro. I said, let's run it. I was like, let's run it, bro.
All right, and then so you kind of talked about the game plan right there, but just was that the full game plan basically, or did you have any other stuff up your sleeve as far as like what you were gonna execute? And then how would you kind of like rate your performance in there?
Yeah, that was, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, we executed the game plan perfectly. Like, we wanted to close the distance, right? We wanted to put him on his back foot, which he was already doing for us. And if we got close to him and got into a clinch, we were gonna take him down and cause damage. I wanted to put as much pressure on him as possible because he was a easy guy to break, right? He doesn't do well off of his back, and he doesn't do well in long fights. So, you know, usually if it goes past the first round, he's tired. You know, he's tired out, he's gassed out. So we executed the game plan well, man. I ain't gonna stop with you. So, you know, obviously me wanting to get a knockout is always the biggest thing, but other than that, man, we executed pretty well.
Okay, for sure. And then before we talk about the fight ending and your call-outs and all that, two things that I want to kind of ask you about was when you walked out with the Uzbek flag, I mean, you just looked like you were about to meditate with that thing on. Like, that thing just brought you some peace.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Like you put that thing on, it was just like you're like, oh, I'm good now. It's crazy. And the Uzbeks loved it too. But
they
how'd that come about?
Because I ain't disrespect they flag.
Right.
The biggest thing about that, because people were like, oh man, where you get that idea from? I just coming up with shit, bro.
You saw it and you flagged him down. You're like, give me it or something. How'd that go?
No, I already had it. I already had it on me. My buddy Marabek had fought here at fault during weeks a day before, right? So he fought Friday, and I fought Saturday. But I had went to his fight, right? That's where I ended up getting the flag from, is from his fight. Unfortunately, my man didn't win, but it is what it is. You know, like I said, losses come with the game. But like I said, I stand with people from Uzbekistan, and I've eaten their food. I've prayed with them, and I've been a part of the culture, right? When I've been at his house. So my biggest thing is that people always feel like we got to be separated or divided because we come from other places. And I feel like this was a great opportunity to say that I walk with y'all as well, and that we gonna put on one hell of a fight, you know, as martial artists. And that was like the turning point where I felt like even the Uzbekistan fans like fell in love with me, because at the end of the day, I'm still representing y'all in a good light. I'm putting your flag out there on the biggest stage in the globe, right, to be seen. Even if people don't realize, even on social media, I was reposting they stories, right? They would tag me and shit, and I would repost them. So regardless if it was negative or anything, it doesn't even matter. I'm giving them an opportunity to be seen. I don't know if Nursulton did the same thing, right? Right? So my biggest thing is I got a lot of respect and love once I reposted their stuff, because they would do a screenshot, right, and repost it on their page like, damn, Buckley really like shouted me out, right? It'd be like kids too doing MMA. Like, hey man, I'm gonna see you in the UFC, right? Just showing them love, like just real love, because they you know, ain't nobody really just hating out here. They just trying to get attention. And when you give that attention, then it's like, oh man, I didn't really expect you for you to respond, you know, type energy. So with that being said, man, I actually want to head out there this summer, you know, and get a lot of love out there. And like I said, keep building on that fan base that I'm talking about.
Right. And just a subtlety in that you're saying is, you know, to promote yourself, you got to, because I have to do this with, you know, creating content for you guys and all that stuff too. But you got to, what was I going to say? I think I was going to say you got to use like, your, what's the word? Like psychology. Psychology. I know, right? I was getting into it too. Psychology. Like you got to, you know, think about like, you know, what people like, how people think and how they would react to things. And then you make something off of that. So you're saying, you're like, you know, people will get excited if I repost their thing, regardless if they want the other guy to win. But I think sometimes fighters don't think about that as far as like even psychology behind it. Because that's really a big thing, is like, what's going to make somebody like me if I post it, you know?
Right.
And so that's something that you're doing.
I don't even care if you don't like me because of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or tune in.
Boom, that's the perfect word. I'm gonna make sure that you're emotionally invested. I'm gonna put that right.
Psychology.
Exactly, right. Whether you love me, hate me, or in between, right? I want you to be emotionally invested so you will tune in for the fight, right? Yet again, I'm not finna do anything out of pocket, disrespect anybody. But if that's how you feel, I ain't got nothing to do with that, because that's just how you feel. You understand? Like I said, other people see pride with me walking out with the flag. Other people seen it was disrespectful, but I didn't do anything but just walk out with the flag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. I loved it. And you're becoming a world superstar at this point. You keep doing that, keep fighting these international guys and interacting, because like we mentioned earlier, Paris is all on you. And we're going to talk about that later. But if you could give me the quick lowdown before we talk about after your fight. You saw Nursulton in the lobby. A couple things about that is, did he really not have the money to pay for his room? And then a lot of people are commenting, they're being like, damn, that's a bad look for the UFC. But here's what I think it is. The UFC probably paid for it, but you got to put your credit card down as a deposit for like, in case anything happens.
Yeah, he just ain't had a little deposit. That's all. So look, I'm gonna let him slide. Right? They had a card. They was having card issues with it, right? Because even my shit started bullshit. I'm like,
that's when you ended the live.
I'm like, hey, look, we're going through a situation, but no, my shit, his coach still paid for it though. So I wasn't lying about it. His coach still paid for it, but they was having card issues though at the hotel. But it's still, yet again, creating a storyline regardless, right? Creating a storyline, having fun with it, because at the end of the day, we gonna get out there and do what we need to do anyway. So why not try to get as many people to tune in as possible? You know, that's it.
Okay. And then did you see, because he's a part of Sean Brady's camp, so his cornermen and stuff like that, did you run into any of them?
No, so them punks were not there. I'm glad you brought the niggas up. So Joe Pfeiffer and Sean Brady, right? They both train with him, like you said. But they got a podcast out, though, right? And obviously, they teammates with homeboys. So, and it's one thing to pick your boy, whatever. But they try to, like, take jabs and try to make fun. Like, you know, like, oh, yeah, Buckley look like you can smell his ass through his jeans. I'm like, well, hey, look, I don't know what that mean, booty sniffer, right? I don't know what the fuck that mean. But, you know, you shouldn't be talking about nobody not washing their hands because you got Sean Brady, right? Sitting there right by you. And I don't even think he finished his ointment up, right? To clear up his motherfucking staph infection. And then you got Joe Pfeiffer over there laughing and giggling. But hold up, nigga, you got to call Daddy Dana to get your rent, nigga, right? Does he still pay your rent? Because I'm going to tell you, ain't no nigga paying my rent but me, nigga, right? You got somebody paying your rent? Nigga?
Nah,
not at all. So my thing is, I find it funny that these two motherfuckers like talking shit, you know? But it is what it is. So I let that be what it is, you know? We got the win. Look, I got their boy up out of there, you know? So I know they definitely feel some type of way now, you know? Yeah.
No, man. And I'll tell you what, I don't even make money off this shit too much. So I make a little bit. But yeah, I'd be having to hustle for money too, bro.
Hey, man,
yeah.
You might have to hop on the solid foundation then with us there, bro.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, dude, let me know whatever you want me to help you out with. But what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So after that fight, though, you called out McGregor, you called out Joe Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
my bad. You called out Gilbert Burns. But we'll start with McGregor.
Yeah.
You and Bisping fighting on the mic and shit. That's gold. That's gold. But I gotta say, you didn't call out McGregor's mom. You said the dad was a hoe. The granddad was a hoe. So I guess your mama raised a hoe.
Raised a hoe. Nah, yeah.
Why are people getting so bent out of shape about this? I mean, bro, like, you can't even call somebody a hoe these days. Like, there's so much more disrespectful stuff that's been going on.
So, but I like how you said it and you broke it down. I never called his mama no hoe. Never said it, right? So that's why I said, I guess it's fake to say your mama raised a hoe, right? But they want to make it seem like, but the thing is, if anybody got common sense, they listening to, right? So for them, I feel like they just trying to be funny because they know what they doing. Michael Bisping, DC, what's that dude name? Sonny, you know?
Chael.
Yeah, Chael. They all know what they doing. So guess what? I'm gonna say this right now. All they mamas raised some hoes, right? Because they purposely try to switch the narrative. They trying to make it a negative thing. I'm calling out Conor and his pops and shit. Like, his pops is still around. He can still take what's the word? Digs at me if he wants to, right? His own dad I'm talking about, right? But my biggest thing is, though, why y'all trying to get in between and then make shit up, right? And trying to make it a negative thing. I'm trying to put myself in a better position where I'm calling out the #1 fighter that's still currently the biggest name, and he's very inactive, right? Hasn't been active for the last 4 years, and he's now coming back, right, fighting Michael Chandler. For y'all to tell me, oh, that was a waste of a call out. No, it wasn't, because y'all dumbasses is talking about it, right? So my thing is, why don't y'all just tell the truth about the whole matter instead of trying to take shots at me and be like, oh, yeah, he said something about his mom or his grandma being a hoe. Like, you know I ain't say that, bro.
At least listen to it one more time before you fucking go on air and diss.
Yeah,
At least understand.
He was right there. First off, he was right there. So he ain't got to re-listen. He was right there. He did it on purpose. He said that on purpose, whatever, to try to get it's crazy how Buckley is fighting so hard for his grandmother, but then at the same time want to disrespect somebody else's grandma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You didn't say grandma.
They know what they doing. Yeah. They know what they doing, but it is what it is.
At least for Bisping, because I tuned into that clip, at least he posted the interview. So for people who actually pay attention, they could clearly see Bisping was wrong there and he misinterpreted it, you know?
Right.
But you saw what Cormier and Chael Sonnen said on their show yesterday, or no?
Yeah, that's why I commented. I just you watched it, right?
You just watched it. They said it's the worst call out of all time.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't that good.
Can I say why I fuck with it though?
But I'm not mad about that. Like, that's not the part I'm mad about, right? I'm mad at the point where they was like, yeah, Buckley wasted his time calling out McGregor. He should have called out Shavkat Ramadov. That's what we should have. That would have did it real good. Like, no, it wouldn't. Calling out some random ass dude. Like I said, this is my mic time. And like I said, if I'm gonna call out anybody, like I said, it's gonna be worth it. Even with Gilbert Burns, that wouldn't have been worth it calling him out. Like I said, he don't even like to promote fights. So me calling him out does nothing for me. You understand what I'm saying? And all I'm doing is giving another guy extra clout that's unnecessary. Yet again, I know what I'm doing. I know I know that Conor at the end of the day don't need me, right? Duh. But me saying his name does a lot for me. And it pushes my numbers up so much further than me calling out Gilly, Shavkat, JDM, motherfuckers that don't even post shit on Instagram. Right?
I'm with you on that one.
So yet again, make it make sense to me, DC right. And Chael.
Now this is why it makes sense to me, because you just even said make it make sense. So I'll make the call out make sense. Give yourself one more fight or two more. Okay, one more fight, you might actually have a better case for it. But 2-3 fights down the line, you're going to be fighting for a world title. That's what the main goal is. So you might as well catch McGregor on the way to the top. Versus, what are you gonna do? Give him a welterweight title shot? That sounds like absolutely like crazy. I mean, I guess because he's the big dog, but
that's why they would do it.
Yeah. But I was almost gonna say that you got to fight him before you become champ, because then you're gonna almost kind of be too big for him. Like, there is not really a precedent.
Oh, what'd you say? Say it one time.
You might be too big for him.
Nah. I'm laughing right now. I don't care what nobody say. Conor is still just that guy, bro. No matter if you got 3 world titles, if you were able to fight Conor, you might want to do that, right? He's the person that has started the whole blueprint on how to promote yourself as a fighter. Now, you can't do the same shit that he do. You got to be different, but you have to have somewhat of a plan and somewhat of a backing where, like, he had Ireland, right? You got to find your market. He knew what his market was. He sold his market. He sold himself to his market very well. And that's why you see still to this day, they still begging to see Conor McGregor fight, even though he's been so inactive, right? He been telling, I'm going to be back. And still we haven't seen anything. I'm still debating on if we're going to see that nigga, be honest with you, right? So my biggest thing is like, yeah, Conor's just that guy, bro. Like, you will want to fight him if you get the opportunity to, right? So for people to be like, oh, he just want red penny, like, yeah, nigga, yes, I do. See, I might put on the draws, no Diddy.
Well, okay, well, how about this, though? Because I say that because if I think, could McGregor fight Leon Edwards as it stands right now? I don't think so. You think so?
Why not? Well,
because what's the precedent? Like, people would be so pissed off about that, right?
It wouldn't be no precedent. It's Conor McGregor.
You just think Conor can have whatever he wants?
Yes, sir, because he built this company up exactly where it is today. I don't care what nobody say. Conor did that. UFC was already making money, but Conor put it on a whole different level when you talk about branding, when you talk about movie deals, and when you talk about, just Hollywood, right? Hollywood type shit. Conor did that.
The news covering you guys sometimes.
Exactly. CNN type shit. Exactly. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll because I didn't think about it like this, but definitely, right? If he has like at least one win under his belt, but you think without a win he's fine. But if he has at least one win under his belt, then yeah,
that's going to make it better.
Yeah, it's only gonna make it better. That would put a little precedent.
I gotta get to that belt quick, man.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So I was thinking, but that's why I was thinking it was a good call out, because I was kind of thinking like you might as well catch him before you get to the title, Right. But hey, that might be a big fight in itself.
Yet again, like manifesting I said, it wasn't a waste of time, right? You can call it the worst call out, or I don't care about that, right? Because yet again, hey, another record, another viral moment, right? Regardless. But it wasn't a waste of time because people talking about it and the numbers are still going up on it. And for me, I feel like it's necessary to speak about that because, yet again, I've already gotten offers from 2 motherfuckers now. And I ain't called their name out. Right? So I'm still getting fights. You understand? But me calling out Conor just for the shot. Just for that motherfucker, like, even if I break it, fuck it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But just taking a shot is so much bigger, you know, than just calling out some random ass motherfucker who ain't gonna help promote it. No way, he might not even fight.
And that's something people should probably think about or consider sometimes. Is you make a call out, but it is probably best if you can get a little clout off calling that guy out too. I never considered that, but that sounds very smart to me. Because like you said, call out Gilbert, and you might as well do that at the press conference like you did, and it still got traction. But in that octagon, the biggest stage,
call out the biggest man.
That does make sense to me. So again, next time I'm
gonna call out The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock's under fire right now for like some in and out shit. You see that?
No, I see that.
They're calling him fake now because he went to In and Out like a year ago, 2022 or 2 years ago, and he's like, my first trip to In and Out, and then I think like they found one in 2023 or maybe this year where he's like claiming his first trip to In and Out again, and then they were hating so much to the point where he changed the caption. He's like, I completely forgot, but thanks for reminding me. And now people are like, bro, everything you do is staged and shit, but that's just what he's going through right now.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Well,
he helped out Themba Gorimbo. That was some real shit. I don't think that was any publicity. So,
which one?
Themba Gorimbo, the UFC fighter who he bought a house.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't staged at all.
Yeah, that was legit.
Yeah, that fighter is still doing big things, man. I think like he built the sewage, like, you know what I mean, plumbing for his place, like where he came from back home. Like, yeah, so he doing big things down there. But to be honest with you, I feel like I need to start being on that same type of thing. Not even just for no clout, none of that. But just being able to give back. You know, I think I'm now in a position where I can start giving back. Definitely with my granny and her condition. You know, I want to bring awareness, and I want to help push other families that need that help, right? And get the backing that they might need, whether that, you know, might be ramps, whether that might be wheelchairs, you know, certain devices to help them speak, you know, beds, right, where they can, you know, raise up, you know, without having any issues. So yeah, I feel like myself, I think it's necessary for me to put myself behind something that's bigger than me.
Yeah, for sure. Just keep talking about it, and I think the blogs will pick it up. I'll definitely, you know, post everything you do. Even if you go to like some place, like maybe like a home that they have or something, post that stuff up, and then I'll repost it too.
All right.
But let's talk about that a little bit. That's might be the most important thing to talk about. Your grandma, I posted something explaining a little bit behind you, right? Telling your story a little bit, and that's only a fraction. People don't know the whole Joaquin Buckley.
Right. Eventually they will. We're gonna have like a little documentary out one of these days. But you know, I just keep it short. You know, like,
and I'm not making you tell it, but if you gonna tell it right now, I wasn't gonna make you tell your story, but you gonna tell it right now or what?
Not the whole thing.
Okay,
we gonna have some time.
No, I wasn't gonna. But what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? Sorry.
But no, just regardless though, my grandmother was the one that took responsibility for raising me after I lost my mother, and when my dad didn't want to take the responsibility of raising. So, you know, with that being said, it's just like when that happened to her, when she got diagnosed with ALS, I was still living with her. I was staying with her at the time. I didn't have a job. I was still trying to just focus on fighting and stuff like that. So she was still being, you know, my caregiver, right? She was my caregiver, you know what I mean? But, you know, when she was diagnosed with that in 2017, you know, I didn't have no excuses, like, to be like, oh, no, I'm looking for this dream. I'm trying to hunt this down, whatever. Like, if it wasn't for her in the first place, none of this would even been possible, you know? So, like I said, we had to take a backseat to the whole dream, whatever, and me having to sit down and take care of my granny, because it was just me at the time, you know? And as I was taking care of her, you know, this about for 2 years, my girl ended up, you know, saying that she was pregnant, you know? And then I had a baby on the way. So then we was definitely locked in, right? So having to find a job and doing all this other stuff, you know, I had to work full time, I had to come back and take care of my grandmother, and I had to make sure that my girl was good, you know? But me staying disciplined and me staying at home and doing the right things, like I said, you know, the universe will just reward you, you know? And then I really feel like, you know, if it wasn't for, you know, certain things that had happened, right? And if I was just to be out, whatever, like, I would never have gotten into the UFC. Like, if I was selfish and just left my granny just how she was, you know what I mean, which would have been cold, I would have never been in the UFC, anything like that, because the universe would never reward me at all. You understand what I'm saying? But I ain't do it for no rewards. Like I said again, it's just like when you be a blessing for one person, which my granny was a blessing for me, I was able to be in turn a blessing for her, because I was able to stay around, you know. Luckily though, like I said, my auntie had came back, you know, and she's now living with her mother, which is my grandma yet again. But she's with her full time. And like I said, bro, we just need that support where my auntie can take a break, you know, because it's a lot on her as well, and I can see it. So, you know, but it's a lot of money when it comes to those caregivers, man. You know, for them just to even stay for 2 or 3 hours, you know, it's a lot of money being, you know what I'm saying, put out there. So getting that support and getting that back, and then I need, whether that's from a sponsor, whether that's from, you know, just working with the ALS Association and getting that help, you know, is definitely necessary right now. And with me continue on the path where I'm at, I know that I can provide all of that with that belt, all the necessary resources.
And that's why I said, right, I put in there, I said, that's why this guy's fought like 13 times in under 4 years. Like, you got a few more months to hit your 4-year mark. You probably end up getting 14 fights by that point or something like that.
Really?
But and that's also why you called out Conor McGregor. People want to talk shit or something like that, but understand the fighter, and then the call out doesn't sound so crazy. He wants to take care of his grandma, make the biggest money possible, biggest fights possible. How does that sound crazy to you? How does that sound like a waste of a call out?
They don't want to see Conor McGregor get knocked out. That's why.
You knock him out or what?
But they waited this long. They waited this long to get Conor back in the goddamn cage. They ain't trying to see my man. And
you're gonna kill his clout or something like that. Hey, but more importantly, you didn't get the 50K, and and that money's for your grandma.
Yeah, but
what do you? Anything?
There's nothing I can do about it. It's nothing I can even stress about. You know, it's just gotta keep. Yet again, the UFC does not make it worse for me. They make it worse for the next guy that steps in there with me, right? Because they make me so passionate about, okay, I got to keep showing y'all. I got to keep proving to y'all. Whatever I read, I got to keep proving to y'all that I'm that motherfucker, bro. And it just makes me more dangerous, man, to the guy that's in front of me, because I want everything. And yet again, definitely if I'm not getting the 50K, you definitely not finna take my winning check, right? Because now we definitely set back. So, the UFC just gives me more motivation, man, to go out there and hurt that boy. That's it.
Okay. And speaking of more motivation, how do you feel about the rankings came out last night? You know, I was looking out. I thought maybe you'd be passing Sean Brady. I thought maybe you'd be passing Sean Brady. What did you think? You had expectations or none?
Nah, never. That's how you get disappointed, right? Mm-hmm. Yet again, my mantra is take strong, right? They not gonna give me nothing, right? So my biggest thing is every opportunity that I do get, I know I gotta milk it, right? And I gotta take the most out of it as I can and try to see how far I can go. But obviously with me fighting Nursulton, he wasn't ranked at all. So it really doesn't do anything for me, right? Obviously I didn't lose to him, but me beating him, right? I didn't beat a ranked opponent. So why would I move up? That makes sense.
Activity.
Yeah, it'd be, but that's not me though. I'm not Sean Brady. I'm not Conor McGregor. I'm not Ian Garry, right? They not gonna bless me like that. So yet again, I just gotta keep winning, and my wins is gonna speak for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough then. But yeah, I was like, I think he should maybe go above Sean Brady because he's got 2 fights now. Right. And I've seen other fights happen where that following Tuesday or Monday night, you know, a couple people slide down when somebody wins or something like that. So, because they could just do whatever they want, kind of. But all right, because I got a few. Or Gilbert Burns. Now he accepted your call out, right? It got a lot of traction. I was late to posting it last night because I had a long day. But what's it called? Even when I was late to posting it, one of the bigger posts that I had yesterday. So, but you say you got like some new opponent and shit like that. So are we just gonna forget about Gilbert, or can't say much?
Well, I can't say who it is. I can't give the date. I can't say who it is because then that's when I want my own, opportunity to fight. But I will say that it's not Gilbert though, and I believe that Gilbert already has something booked or has something already in the works. But when he said, "Oh man, yeah, I'll fight him," if the UFC calls, I'll pick it up. Like that's that whole shit, bro. Like if you really want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Let's make the fight happen. Just like how I be doing when I be promoting. Like, yeah, I'll beat his ass. Like Gilbert should really stand on that. Like, I hurt somebody that was so close to you, somebody that you call your brother, and I did him dirty. And I embarrassed him on top of that, right? You should want to stand on business about somebody that you call your brother. Because even the guy that I'm talking about, right, Murabe, if he was to ever come into the UFC, right, and something bad was to happen, and then you got a fighter that's just making bad fun, I don't care where they ranking at. I don't care where I'm in position. I got a world title. Bring that motherfucker here. Because you're not finna do that to somebody that I care about. Because like I said, with this business, we can actually do something about it and get paid for it. So, like I said, a lot of these dudes, man, they be capping when they be like, oh, yeah, I'll fight them. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because the fight would have already been set up a long time ago.
Right. So you didn't like his energy in that you felt as if he was kind of not puffing his chest out. He almost, that was your kind of thing in there?
It was on some your mama raised the whole shit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It was literally that
You're
type
expecting to puff his chest out and be like, but Joaquin Buckley keeps saying my name. He went up to me at the PI. He beat Vicente. He talked shit about my team. He ain't no kill clip killer.
Right. Stand on business about your team, bro.
Yeah.
But he know in all reality that it's not gonna go that way. I just got knocked out in my last fight. This dude looks a lot more scary than the guy that I just fought, JDM. You know? My man just beat a 6'5" motherfucking tight. Made it look easy. What am I gonna do? That's just how I'm seeing it. But yet again, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Shut me up. Even though I'm gonna still keep talking. You know?
Okay. Well, hey, I guess we're gonna move on from Gilbert, because he's probably not gonna be the opponent unless whoever this mystery opponent is declines. Gilbert's probably next up from that. I was gonna say, let me see here. Let me see. Okay. So then Mike Parry called you out, and Mike Parry was also a hater on your call out. He said, "I don't like talking about family."
I can't say he was necessarily. So if you got it, say what he said before we get started.
All right.
If we can pull it up.
Yeah.
But I think I see what you was talking about. He was just like he want to leave families out, right?
That's why I said, yeah, not about. He didn't say you were talking about the mom necessarily, but he said, "I'm not a fan of families getting brought into it." Let me see.
Right. And see, everybody got their thing, right?
He said,
everybody. Yeah, go ahead.
Dang, I don't agree with talking about mammies and pappies. But again, you didn't really talk about the mom. Just
mammies and pappies, right. And hey, look, if that's how
but
you
he
feel,
said, I'll read the positive real quick. Congrats, Joaquin Buckley, too strong, brought it home tonight. Third round was crazy.
Right. So
some love to you.
No, Mike's still
But he called you out. He said he wants to fight you.
Yeah, I get paid. We gonna make some money. Yeah, yeah, I don't look at that as a negative thing. I ain't gotta hunt nobody down no more because people starting to see like, hey, this dude promotes himself and people tune in every single time to watch him fight. Bro, if you scared to fight fighters, you shouldn't be a fighter. Period. Anybody that want to fight me, I don't look at it as a negative thing. Thank you. I'm looking for somebody to make money with. You my brother to me. We finna get paid. Now you finna make half your check, nigga. I'm finna make my full check. But either way, we finna get paid. Right? But just going back on the whole mammy and pappy, like, for me, I got things that I don't talk about, right? I don't talk about the dead, and I don't talk about kids. Now, I did bring up Mick Jr., but not in a negative way. I said, I just hope that Mick Jr., he is the curse, of the big whole curse, right? But I'm never disrespectful in talking about kids like, oh, they ugly or they dumb. Like, no, I don't do that. So I got things that I don't talk about as well. But other than that, anybody that's connected with you, that's with you, that ride with you, yeah, they can get it too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Especially men, right?
Especially man, but the women too, right? If your wife is close to you, she closer to you. Or bro. She in my DM.
Yeah. Ryan Garcia.
right. Type shit.
Ryan Garcia is stealing everybody, girl.
Everybody got their own thing, but for me, like I said, I don't talk about kids and I don't talk about the dead. I leave those two things because if you talk about mines, promise you that. And I would tell this right now. You talk about mines, don't worry about the UFC setting that shit up.
It's on site.
That's it. Don't worry about the UFC setting that it's on site. Because no. When I say that shit, I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but regardless.
Don't be fucking with Buck. He used to be a bodyguard back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to start fights as the bodyguard.
Hey,
had to do was fight in the bathroom and shit.
yeah, but actually one thing just to like, so I have the documentation right a little bit. It just popped in my head. You worked overnight at Walgreens, correct? So that you could take care of your grandma during the day or something like that? That's correct. So you get off at like 6 a.m. and then go home and take care of her.
Nope, I work 11 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay. And then you're home all day. When would you sleep before your shift a little bit? Trying to get
just
some...
a little bit. Yep, take a nap. Bro, to be honest with you, I wasn't doing much of sleeping for 2 years, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that was a difficult time.
Yeah. Well, I was also gonna say too about that is just like something I heard
training too. Because I was still training. Yeah.
Right. And I was gonna say too is that what you said earlier, how it paid off, you wouldn't have been in the UFC, you feel like, if you didn't do that. And that's something I heard. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and the guy was kind of saying like, you know, when you do good things and you always do the right thing, like behind closed doors, I think he said something like once that door opens, you're able to walk through it, so to speak. So that's kind of like, you know, behind closed doors, you stayed down, you know, you did the right things and you were training. And then when the door opened to fight again, even though you had been out of the game, you know, you were able to walk through it. But just to end that is that, you know, when you also don't pay people back, this is what the guy was saying, but it makes sense for this conversation. When you don't pay people back, when you treat people poorly or you don't apologize and stuff like that, then that stuff also kind of like blocks your blessings. You know, like you were saying, if you didn't be a real man, you might don't feel like you would have made it to the UFC almost. So just putting that out there, free game for some people if they're, you know.
Well, that's the thing, man. You know, first off, I'm not even gonna say karma or anything like that, but just vibrations, right? Negative or positive vibrations that you give out, you eventually receive back into your life. You know, so if you're moving with negativity, you're doing people dirty, like you said before, you're not keeping your promises as a man or a woman or a female, it doesn't matter, right? These things come back at the end of the day to haunt you, right? So it's good just to be a good person. It don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you nothing just to be a good person, you know? And if anything, it's going to bless you if you are a good person. It's still bad things that might happen where it's just situational, but those things aren't just happening to you. Those things are just happening. That makes sense, right? It's not just to affect you personally. Bad things happen to people all the time, but how do you affect other people is another thing, you know? Even though you're going through a negative time and you're going through a difficult time, how do you affect others, right? Do you keep a positive light or do you keep a dim and negative light, you know? So my biggest thing is like I said, me taking care of my grandmother, I had no problems with that because yet again, who would have took care of me? Because I would have really been out here on some foolishness, you know, at the time. Because I was still riding, you know what I'm saying, kind of, you know, on the edge, right? But for me, my granny was my light, you know, to always be on the other side instead of being in darkness all the time, you know what I mean, and doing the wrong things. So I feel like just naturally when you do the right things and when you stay true to yourself, right, the universe will reward you with certain stuff. And I feel like everything happened at the right time, fam. You can't force these things, right? So with me being able to still train and me doing the things that was necessary for me to prepare, I was ready for the opportunity when it came, you know? A lot of people don't be ready for the opportunity when it comes because they doing other stuff and they not staying obedient in the preparation and staying, you know, staying towards their craft, right? And keep developing their craft or keep developing, you know, their mindset or whatever that might be. And then they crash out, right? As soon as they get it, they like, damn, you know, I'm not ready. So they, guess what? They decline. I'm good. Right? So with that being said, man, staying focused, man, and having integrity in yourself, bro, is big.
Yeah. And exactly, you know, the stuff you've, cause I'll tell you, cause you opened up to me. So I'll tell you, I lost my dad when I was like, after I turned 17, like a week after. He had cancer. So, but you know, that kind of stuff makes you, how do you put it? Start to take your, like, make the most of your time, at least for me. So sometimes what you're saying too, people fall off the wagon, but you stayed locked in. And I've always kind of stayed locked in too, just because I know that life is short, you know, I saw it firsthand. And obviously you see it too. I know you talked about that too with Joe Rogan, but that's just part of it too is, I think you stayed locked in because, you know, life is short. You've been through some tough times and, you know, I've been through that too. So I know how it goes a little bit with that. You got anything to say or no?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, even for your loss, right? And there's things that I feel like people don't understand. Sometimes death is necessary, right? For you to understand where your life and what your purpose is. I will always want my mom to be here or my dad to be here, right? But their death was necessary for me to have purpose in my life. For them dying gave me purpose because it's just like, okay, like you said, life is short. I have to do something with this, you know what I mean, short time that I have. Because at the end of the day, I'm seeing the same people, my family members, friends, all doing the same thing, repeat the same habits. What can I do that's different, man, where I can leave an impact on this planet, leave my footprint? So that only has happened because I lost my parents at an early age. But if I still had them around, I probably wouldn't have been a fighter. The God honest truth. The only reason why I fought so much is because I did lose my mom. So I dealt with anger issues and all those other things, right? Didn't know how to deal with my emotions and everything of that nature. So my life would have been completely different if I still had my mom and my dad around, probably, you know. But with that being said, it's just, you know, people look at death as a negative thing. Unfortunately, it's just something that happens. We all gonna die. Regardless if it's, you know what I'm saying, early in life or later in life, we all gonna see that same ending chapter. So, you know, I wish people look more positively at death than negative. People give it too much of a negative light.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, because people rarely deal with it, you know. But maybe you learned how to deal with it a little bit better too, because what you're saying makes sense. But you had to go through it twice. You know, you were young, so yeah, that's a good perspective, you know, for people out there. If they haven't gone through it, you know, try to look at it in more of a positive way.
Put too much thought into it and fear it. It's gonna happen. Live your life. You so concerned about death, like death ain't concerned with you until it's time to meet you, right? So my biggest thing is find what you love to do, find your purpose in life and what you willing to leave behind, because that's all that matters, right? That's literally all that matters.
You said too that you want your name to live on forever because of what you went through. That's something that kind of stood out to you. You want to make it right. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, wouldn't nobody know my mom's name or my dad's name, right? Besides the one closest to them. But that's the thing. They say you die twice. First time is when you take your last breath, and the second time is when they say your name for the last time. And that's a lot of people. That's a lot of, I'm talking about over, you know, just the course of history, right? There's only a small amount of people that name will be remembered. And I think that's what my biggest fear was, being forgotten. So that's why I worked so hard.
Yeah. And if people want more context, just go watch that Joe Rogan interview, because that was a really good podcast where you opened up and told a lot of that. That's where I get a lot of my information as far as like where I was able to tell your story, because I like wrote down like, you know, all the stuff about it and stuff like that in the order too. And then I looked it up too. I was looking at some stuff. Like I know you were a little sad after your mom passed, and you don't have to get into it. I just putting it out there for people. But you were a little sad after your mom passed away. And then your grandma was like, hey, you got to go out there. You got to put yourself out there. And then that caused you to find a passion in MMA and talk to people because you didn't want to talk. You were like quiet and stuff like that.
Right. Well, that was more like from middle school. Right. So I didn't get into MMA until high school. But regardless though,
you wrestled, right? Is that why you got into wrestling? Because you thought you needed to do a program?
In high school.
Okay.
Yeah. But it gave me something to do. Yeah, that was my first sport. Literally my first sport to do. And I liked it because I was able to get that anger and that aggression out in a positive way. Yeah, they just said it, but I was, man, hand-eye coordination was terrible. Dropping the ball. But yeah, wrestling was the best avenue for me at the time. It was free, right? It was as soon as school was over with, you know, went straight into the wrestling room and put in work. But yeah, my grandmother is the one that told me just be yourself, open up, and just, like I said, just live your life, boy. You know, again, yeah, it's unfortunate that your mom is gone, but you still live, right? Because like I said, bro, because for me, I was always around my mom. I was a shadow of my mom. My dad wasn't around, right? He was locked up for a little bit, you know, and then he got out, but he was still doing his own thing. He was young at the time too, so, you know, he just living his life at the time. But my mom is the one that raised me up all the way. So when she went to work with her, you know. When she went out, I went out with her, you know. And, you know, it would be times where she'll drop me off with a couple of people, you know, just a babysitting and shit like that. But other than that, I was with my mom at all times. So when she just literally just died, and I felt like, you know, it was just out of nowhere. I didn't know how to handle it because I didn't know what was going on. Like, no, like I'm seeing my mom in the coffin. Like, no, she coming back, bro. Didn't know how to, because that was the first funeral I was at, and that was my mom. So trying to put that understanding in that 2-2 that I would never see this lady again was very difficult. I didn't know how to handle it, and it took some time. It took a lot of good time, whatever, you know. But soon getting into 8th grade into high school, you know, I started to get better. Yeah,
right. And I don't know if I said it, but I'm sorry, you know, all that stuff happened to you. But I'm glad that you also made the most of all of it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so to wrap this up, I only got like a couple more, so maybe 10 minutes if that's okay.
You good?
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna read you a couple questions that some people messaged me. Damn, my lights are turning off. So somebody's asking, MMA propaganda. They're from Paris, right? And they fuck with you heavily because you fought that one dude from Paris, Nursulton, right? Yeah. Yep. So he was saying he wanted me to ask you what you think about this question he has. Many French fans have been supporting you on social media since your fight in Paris, even when you fought against a French opponent and when you accepted the fight with Lazy King. They all say they want to see you at UFC Paris next September, but not against a French fighter, so they can support you. What do you think about that?
I think that's beautiful. I got a fan base down there. Even if I don't get a fight, I would love to fight in Paris again. But even if I don't get a fight, I definitely head back out. That's a short 6-hour flight right there. So I love to visit Paris and get back out there and be with the fans and just watch, you know, as a spectator.
Now, let me see here. And I'm not going to make you give it details, but I'm just going to tell you timelines because I wrote this down too. Let me see. Because Paris, I know the month, or he just said September, right? So is there a chance you could fight there this year or no? You can't say?
Okay, yeah.
Leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. You want me to cut this part out or what?
No. I haven't gave a date.
You didn't give me a. Okay, yeah. All right. And then what's it called? Sodapop, your boy.
Yeah. I'm not fucking with him heavy now. Yeah,
I saw you reposted like 5 of his things, which is great.
Yep.
He said to you, because I was like, hey, I'm gonna talk to him today, so you want me to tell him anything? And then he said, just let him know I said what's up. That fight was awesome, and I can't wait to see him beat Burns and win the title.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I gotta pop him out, bro. I gotta pop him out for one of these fights, bro.
Yeah.
So Sodapop, if you hear this, bro, we definitely got a ticket, man. 2 tickets on the way.
Oh, let's go. He be riding for you, bro. You saw all those posts he made too, like breaking down the fight.
From the beginning, though, you know, having me, because at first, sometimes you gotta be like a little careful with it, but dude smart with it too, like understands the game, like really be breaking it down. I'm like, okay, you know what he's talking. It's not just like a random fan just obsessing about you, right? Because you got those out there, but he actually breaking down shit, and I'm like, okay, he actually sees, you gets it. Yeah.
You can even like message him and like he could be like a spy for you or some shit like that. Like he's a loyal one, you know. Like, hey, can you pull up like some of these clips? He'll send it to you within like 5 minutes.
They've been blocking his ass though. Even Gilbert Burns blocked his ass on Twitter.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Come on, Gilbert. Relax a little bit. He's just a kid. Actually, I don't know how old he is.
I don't know.
Right. Okay, and then let me just make sure I don't miss anything. What's it called? Okay, this is actually a big one, I think. But nobody asks you about this, but I heard you say something about it one time. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, you don't fuck with that.
Nah, I don't. Just to be honest with you. But Mike getting paid, right? Mike finna make one of the biggest checks he's made in a very, very long time. You see that he's training and he's doing what he loves, so he's happy, right? So that's always good to see. But at the end of the day, it's still combat. And what I pray, and not saying fixed fight, not saying it at all, but I pray that Jake Paul don't put it on him like that, right? What's the great example? Like Izzy did with Anderson Silva, kind of held back just a little bit, right? Let's just have a good hard sparring match. That's what I pray that it might be, But I just cannot imagine seeing a fight and Jake Paul hitting my man with a right hand and knocking Mike Tyson out cold. I couldn't handle it. I'm just being God. I couldn't handle it, bro.
And if that does happen, are you gonna be on Jake's ass?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We on buddy, bro.
Yeah.
No dick.
All right, for sure. Okay, and then we always mention him. So sorry if I'm giving him clout off your name, but he's your boy.
Yeah.
Frenemies. Kevin Holland.
That's my boy, man. I learned a lot from Kev. Don't get it twisted. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from the first day that we fought. Like I said, I learned throughout all my losses. I learned a lot of things from a lot of people, and especially with Kevin, I learned just to be comfortable, be yourself, right? This is what we do. I was taking it too serious. I'm like, man, I'm on the biggest platform on the planet, bro. Like, I finally made it. Let's go out. I got to do the most, right? He just comfortable. He just having a good time. I should have did the same thing, and it would have been a completely different fight if that would have happened. So I'm blessed that I got to fight Kevin Holland in my first bout, because then I also realized you got to stay active too. If you really want to get paid, if you really want to make money, you got to show up, right? They not really even concerned about motherfuckers winning, right? You just show up and fight. And you fight your heart out, and you fight with determination, and you fight with purpose. And they going to reward you with another one, right? And they might not pay your ass like you want to get paid, but you will get another fight, right? So yeah. So I ain't got no issues with Kev. You know, I see that
you guys could be friends. What'd you say? Sorry, I missed what you just said. What'd you say? You could still what?
He's moving back up to middleweight.
Yeah. So he could.
Right.
You said he could still get it or no? Is that what you just said or no?
You talking about fight wise?
Well, you just said something. I cut you off, and I wanted to know what you were going to say.
I was just saying that he's moving back up to middleweight. I think it's just just another fight just to get paid.
Michelle Oleksiejczuk.
Yup. But don't get it twisted. Anybody can catch the work. But the thing is, yet again, it just got to make sense. That's all. It's not a personal thing, right? If Kev is on the winning streak, and like I said, Kev gonna promote it too. That's the fun part, right? It's another person that's gonna promote it, and the eyes is gonna be there, because already, even if he didn't, or if I didn't, people want to see it. But us both engaging with one another, talking shit, back and forth, going live on Instagram, whatever it might be, right? People gonna tune in, and people gonna be excited for it, right? So Kevin Holland always has a place in the cage with me. Yes.
How do you feel about him moving back up to 85 to fight Oleksiejczuk?
Just for a check.
That guy's a beast.
It's literally just for a check.
Just for a check.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Garcia drug test. That's it for me. But
I ain't gonna lie. You know, it's unfortunate, because my thing is, does anything happen to Ryan Garcia? Does he get penalized because of this? Because obviously he didn't win the titles, right? Because he missed weight in the first place. You cheated, twice, right? So my biggest thing with Ryan Garcia taking the PED, bro, is just like, it just makes the sport look worse when you got the actual legit boxers out here doing what they're not supposed to be doing. But then you got Jake Paul out here putting on for boxing, but he ain't really a boxer's boxer, right? He had to come from outside, build a name for himself outside of boxing, and then come and get introduced to the sport, right? I feel like right now boxing, I can't take it serious. I really can't, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, in some ways, though, I do like it, because I don't know. Sometimes,
you like
no, not that. I like when the coaches, how they have the coaches talking trash a little bit. I like that stuff. I would say that I prefer, like, you know how they ask, like, Nate Diaz's coach with Masvidal press conference. Nate's coach never gets publicity, but in that press conference, they give him the mic and he can break down the fight. And I also like how they talk trash and stuff. Yeah,
that part is fine, but you're talking about, taking drugs and cheating.
Not you don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that either. But
right.
As far as like this kind of thing, just because you're a fighter, so this is why I actually I'm really curious. Talking about, that does risk lives, right, when you're doing that. Yes. But then they're also complaining like Haney's coach at like Conte, which is involved in the Barry Bonds scandal. So do you have any thoughts on that at all?
No, I didn't hear anything about that. But any information that you have that is going to affect your fighter, you want to give it to him. You want to release that.
They're saying that this guy, Victor Conte, right, Haney's nutritionist, he served 4 months in jail for a steroid scandal with Barry Bonds and all those guys. And then now he's in boxing. So he's a kind of a dirty guy who got out of baseball, did jail time over it. Now he's in boxing. They're saying he doesn't fuck with Ryan. He has a really, really close relationship with VADA, the drug testing agency.
Yes.
And he's actually paid them to do drug tests in the past. So financial.
He's trying to say he got, like, Brian Garcia got set up. That's what you're trying to say.
That's what. Not me, but I'm reporting it.
I got you. I got you. Well, I mean, even if that's the case, you still make the decision to put something in your mouth and eject, right? Did nobody force you? Did nobody put a gun on you and make you take?
I guess they're saying that the nutritionist, because of his relationship with VADA, that the nutritionist maybe polluted the drug test.
Well, test them again.
They're gonna do it on the 22nd. The B sample will come.
Why they wait so long to test them?
I don't know. That's a weird one.
You could have got tested right then and there.
Don't they already have the B sample? But
right, yeah. But regardless, so yet again, it's just a lot of foolishness that's going on with boxing that needs to be taken care of, right? We don't really have these issues. Well, actually, we don't have these issues in MMA, right? And if we do, right, we got a team of people that is already on that job, and you getting tested again multiple times. They see what you took, what tainted supplements, what tainted food, everything. They do a whole investigation if anything happens, right? So they figure things out. But it ain't gonna take a whole month to try to figure, because yet again, these if you're doing it right, these things leave your body, right? So even if you do get tested, you're like, oh yeah, there's no more signs in there. Don't mean you didn't take it, right? You just waited enough time in order for it to leave your system. And I think that's very unfair. Because yet again, he could have really ended Devin Haney's career, right? He probably still did, right? Unfortunately, because he really put a beating on Devin Haney, and he might not ever come back the same, you know?
Probably not. When that kind of thing happens.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't fuck with cheaters, bro. Not at all.
Just the last things about that is that because people think like those 3 drug tests in the past, he passed them during camp, and then so people are thinking it's fishy that he failed the one pre-fight, being that he also missed weight and then Devin lost. They're thinking that's why there's some weird stuff that they're thinking, because it's like he didn't pop any times in camp, but then he pops after he gets the win over Devin. That's just the thoughts about it. Anything about that?
Nope. Just the way it is, you know.
We'll wait it out. We got to wait till the 22nd about that. But that's the story.
Exactly.
And then what would you, if he is guilty, what would you like to see happen to him as a fighter? Like, is McGregor right?
Remove your license. Get his license.
And get that
you
0.
Somebody do that.
And then how about Haney? We're sorry. Say that again.
So to take his license away.
Take his license away?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Devin Haney wants that loss removed from his record, overturned. Yeah. Is that a fair thing to do as well?
Very fair. Very fair thing to do. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. And no more boxing for Ryan.
Beat his ass, but regardless, though, everybody different, you know?
Yeah. Because, rematch, right? I saw your story.
Yeah.
But if Ryan's boxing license is removed, then no rematch.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm still going to fight you.
Catch you in the streets? Shit. Hey, Ryan, you might not want that work from Ryan in the street. Not you, but Haney.
Oh, right.
Haney might not want that work anymore.
I'm about to say less, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to find that motherfucker right now.
No, come on. I already know that. You're like twice his size, too.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Hey, I really appreciate the time. Congrats on all your success again.
Thank you, man.
Very happy to see it every time. And thanks for always coming on after your fights, after your wins, and giving me the time and the exclusive this time around.
Sure. Man, thank you for always being there and coming on and actually trying to promote me when wouldn't nobody else do it. You know, because like I said, now there's a lot of people trying to get these interviews that's trying to put my name out there. But where was you at, you know, when we were still getting those wins at 170? Because like I said, people didn't believe the progress. People didn't believe the actual work that I was putting in, right? They still doubt me right now. They still don't believe, like, fraud check, right? Buckley just beat a fraud. That was actually a good fighter that I beat.
Luque. Or Nursulton.
No, not even Luque. Well, yeah, Luque too, though, right?
Because they're saying it for both of them.
Yeah, that brain bleeding. But what about RDA?
Yeah.
He beat RDA with no issues.
Mm-hmm.
So why y'all saying I got issues with him now that I fight? But regards to all that, it don't even matter. I appreciate you, man, for being one of those ones that stay committed and being a real one to put me on a platform, man, and give me a voice when nobody else would.
I got you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Until next time, after your next fight, after your next win, we'll get you on again.
And we already know, bro. I did it.